Actually, my mom just collapsed. I have to accompany her, so we'll just have to call off the ceremony.
On the morning of our wedding day, my boyfriend Henry called to tell me that his mother had fallen ill.
What kind of condition is your mother in?
She suddenly collapsed, and she was unconscious. Harper, can you please contact the cancel?
I'm on my way, so let me know which one you want.
Well, then, the ambulance is on it.
Henry hung up on me before he could about the hospital to which his moth being transported. I sent a message asking him to let me know if he received it, but he hasn't responded yet. It was so sudden that I didn't know where to start, and I thought about many things. Should I contact the venue first? But if his mother's life is in danger, he must go there immediately. As I froze, clutching my phone, it rang. I heard the person on the other end line and got confused.
What do you mean, Judy?
My name is Harper, and I'm a 28-year-old office worker. I have a boyfriend that I have been since high school. His name was Henry, a bright and gentle man who I felt at home with and had always dreamed of marrying. We have been together for almost 10 now. For about a year, I had been talking about getting married on our 10-year anniversary. And yet, Henry kept saying,
Yes, I'll even think about it.
and all I get is a lukewarm reply. He has not been very forthcoming with me about getting married. We originally planned to live together in college, but
If I live with you, I'm afraid I'll become spoiled and lazy. Can you help me stay on track until I'm on my own first?
I was told that and got refused to him. At the time, I was convinced by Henry's argument, but looking back, it is unclear to me whether I actually understood. It's indeed unsettling that we've been together for almost 10 years and he's still unsure about marriage. Once we decided to have a serious discussion, I called Henry to my house.
I've been saying for a while now that I want to get married.
Of course, I'm also thinking about it.
Can't you just say it out loud and think it?
Well, that's a good question.
If you plan on getting married, decide now.
He gave a small nod when I said this proposed. To be honest, I had dreamed of a romantic proposal, but since it's Henry, who is such a wimp, I gave up on the idea. We finally decided to get married, and we've come a long way since then. First, we went to his parents to remarriage. I am quite close with them, having since high school. My parents moved overseas after I graduated from high school, so my in-laws felt responsible for taking care of me. My in-laws were happy to finally hear about our marriage. I called my parents to inform them. From then on, everything went smoothly. The meeting, dinner with both families, purchase of the rings, and search for a wedding venue. My mother-in-law worked in the bridal industry, so with her advice, we were quickly decided on a wedding venue. We also planned to invite our relatives and coworkers to the reception. I was very happy, but Henry seemed on it more and more. We had been talking about marriage time, but I thought he was anxious, had suddenly suggested it.
Henry, are you okay?
What? What?
You keep looking down and thinking something. Anxious to get married?
Oh, it's not like that. Just a little.
What's wrong? If you have a problem, I'm here to...
No, it's about work. It's okay.
No matter how many times I asked, he wouldn't tell me what was bothering him. I had heard that men could have married too, so I thought he might have had one. To reduce Henry's workload as much possible, I took over the wedding preparations so that he would have for himself. Finally, it's the morning of the wedding. Henry was scheduled to bring his pair the ceremony. As I was getting ready to leave, my rang. I looked at the screen and saw that incoming call from Henry.
Still home, right?
Yes, I was just getting ready to leave.
Actually, my mom just collapsed suddenly.
What? Your mother. Is she okay?
I'm waiting for an ambulance, right? I have to chaperone, so we'll just call off the ceremony.
What kind of condition is your mother in?
She suddenly collapsed, and she's under. I'm sorry, Harper, but could you please ask the venue to cancel?
I'm on my way, so let me know which.
Well then, the ambulance is coming.
I emailed him asking him about the hospital, but he hasn't replied yet.
If the wedding is getting canceled, contact the venue first. But if his mother's life is in danger, he must go there immediately.
As I froze, clutching my phone, it rang. I was so startled that I almost dropped my phone, caught it, and rushed to answer the call.
Good morning, Harper. Did you sleep well last night? It's time to head to the ceremony. Help you change your dress.
I heard his mother's voice, which was the same as usual, which made me confused.
What do you mean, Judy?
Yeah, it's me. Oh, are you still sleepy?
I was in a hurry to answer the phone, had not looked at the screen, but when I saw that the call was from Henry E. When Henry said his mother fell down to be transported, as I was thinking about it more, I heard Henry's voice in the background.
Mom, so you were here, about the ceremony. I'm on the phone with Harper. Wait, Mom, give me the phone.
With that, Henry seemed to forceful the phone from his mother.
Oh, Harper. Oh, no. It's about my mother.
What the hell is going on? Are you saying that your mother having collapsed was a lie?
No. I wasn't lying. I was surprised too, but she recovered quickly. There was nothing weird about her. She was completely normal. So, did you cancel the ceremony?
I had no idea what the lie was about, but all I could tell was that he wanted to have a wedding.
You didn't have to lie like that if you didn't want to have a wedding with me.
That's not what I meant. It's not a matter of if, but when.
Can you give me your mother's phone number? By the looks of it, you're lying to parents too.
No, I won't explain that properly.
Of course, I haven't let you explain. We time for this, so give it quickly.
He reluctantly handed over the phone to her, as it had been decided that he could not keep it. For Henry to tell me that his mother had collapsed and that they were going to the hospital, and to be asked by him to cancel the meeting because we had no choice. I explained all these things to her. When she heard my story,
Is it true that you lied about me and tried to cancel the ceremony?
she confronted Henry. I couldn't tell over the phone, but Henry was nodding silently. After a short pause, I heard aloud his mother.
I'm sorry. What do you want to do, Harper?
Right. I will cancel the ceremony. We are no longer in a condition to do.
Well, I'm not sure what you mean by edit, but I can certainly help with any spelling or grammar mistakes.
I then discussed it with her and Cor, the invited guests, and the ceremony informed them of the cancellation. It was painful to tell my parents, who came all the way from overseas. Since they still don't know the truth, I explained to my parents that it was a misunderstanding. After getting the word out, I headed to Henry's parents' house in the late afternoon. When I arrived at their house, Henry was being reprimanded by his father. Before our discussion, his parents on their knees and apologized to me.
We had no idea our son was such, and we're truly sorry.
I asked them to raise their heads. Henry kept looking down and didn't apologize, even though his parents were upset with him.
You don't apologize?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why did you lie about your mother, Fail?
It is a great pleasure to welcome you all here today.
Keeping quiet won't solve anything.
I could be making $30 million a year.
Not only was I, but also his parents were amazed at what he said.
I don't understand this at all.
She's going to make me an employee. That reason, we had to cancel the sick.
Explain everything from the beginning.
That said, Henry began to explain what he meant bit by bit. About a year after he started working with the daughter of the president of a company who was an acquaintance of his friend. The president's daughter liked Henry said, "If you go out with me, I will in my father's company." His employee's annual income is 30. This was a great opportunity for Henry, who was not doing well at his job and was considering a career change. He said that he had been dating the president's daughter while dating me, thinking too much about it. This means that they have been having an affair for about 5 years. I checked Henry's phone on the spot, heard about the affair. Then I found many photos of his date, beautiful woman. There were pictures of beautiful ski hotels and beaches, and they seemed fun.
I went out with her like she told me she wouldn't let me into their company. While you were pressuring me to get married, I didn't know what to do.
You should have left me and gone to boss's daughter, right?
I don't want to. She's selfish and egotistical. If I were to marry, I would prefer. So the plan was to leave as soon as me into the company and marry you.
I don't understand. The wedding was canceled, but you already submitted the marriage certificate.
About that.
What's that? What do you mean?
Since we were on a tight schedule for time, we decided to have a small ceremony. Henry took care of the marriage license, and I was making preparations. Henry told me that he had submitted his marriage certificate without having sent it in. I can't believe he lied to me all that time and even lied about getting married. I could only sigh in dismay.
Because I could have made $30 million. With that much, you could be a stay mom and the money would be nice too.
I don't want to be a housewife, and there's no way he could get 30 million in place. I am sure that President S. Paul is playing with Henry, who doesn't know it's just for fun.
I'd rather have a man who doesn't see than a man who makes a lot of money.
Henry's eyes widened as he heard this, and his face grew grim.
That's enough. I've been working hard for you.
For me? What do you mean by working hard? You just enjoyed cheating.
Yes. You narrow-minded person, you wouldn't understand what I'm going through. Because I'm gonna tie the knot W and make $30 million a year. You can't come back to me just because you have money.
I would never go back to a guy like...
I told him that and left their house. His parents kept their heads down until the very end. I didn't really care about anything anymore, but I was disappointed that I am no longer part of my wonderful family. 10 days later, I received a phone, Henry. I realized that I had forgotten to call because I didn't want to thank him. However, curious as to what the call was about, I picked up the phone. The caller, Henry, was whimpering and started talking about how he had been dumped by the president's daughter. Sure enough, he was being played with. The president's daughter has another boyfriend, and she wanted to tease him that he had been her boyfriend since high school. So she lied about making him an empire earning $30 million a year and teased having the affair. She said that she was satisfied that he and I had broken up. And she told him everything was a lie and dumped him. The president's daughter who makes people sick, but I have no respect for him after he betrayed me by being a liar that anyone could have figured out.
I'm really sorry. This time around, I realized that you're the only one for me. We've known each other a long time. Let's start over again.
Last time, you said it was impossible. I tried to come back to you.
That was just something I said because you're being too hard on me.
I have absolutely no intention of G back together with you, so don't cut. Again.
I hung up and blocked calls from him. The wedding and reception were canceled on the day of the wedding, so the cancellation fee was $100. Angered by what Henry had done, they kicked him out of their house, treating the cancellation fee as a goodbye gift. Henry left his workplace at the same broke up. I heard him say boldly that a seat prepared for him as the next present major company he would be joining. As a result, he could not even join the company, let alone take that seat. But I'm glad he left the company. Since we had invited other co-workers to our wedding, it was explained that the ceremony was canceled due to infidelity. He will have no credibility in the company because he has been caught cheating on his girlfriend of 5 years. He would have eventually resigned, but he would have stayed. With the company, it just would have been sooner. He had also bought a new suit, white shoes, saying he wanted to dress up little man. Those were purchased at a high-end store, introduced to him by the president's daughter, and he had to incur significant debt just to pay for them. Debt is not the only thing. There is also compensation for me. We were able to prove the affair aft engagement, so I was able to claim from Henry. It is not that expensive, but for he has lost his job and is in debt, it from what he can afford. He currently lives in an 800 square foot apartment and has a part-time job. He is looking for a full-time job while paying off his debts. However, it doesn't seem to work at all because he once dreamed of earning $1 million annually. I had no intention of fighting with the president's daughter for Henry. I was disgusted by his affair, but I thought it would be a long process to demand alimony from her as well. The lawyer I consulted also told me it would be difficult, so I gave up. But the woman was also punished. Her father found out that she had been tricking Henry by lying to him about him, a job at her father's company. She had been receiving a monthly allowance of hundreds of thousands of dollars from her father, but that allowance is now gone. The money she had and her credit card all confiscated. She has now been evicted from her home and is being forced to work in a subsidiary company, which is a factory. Although it is a subsidiary, the plant manager is an old friend of the president and has known her since she was a baby. The factory manager knows what she's doing, and he says he's going to set her straight, and he's being very strict with her. I heard about this from Henry's parents. It seems that the father, the president of the company, came to their house in apology for the damage Henry had suffered due to his daughter's lies. At that time, Henry's parents explained to me about him and informed me that the president wanted to apologize to me. I heard that the woman had been publicly punished, so I politely declined an invitation from the president, saying that was not appropriate. Nevertheless, the president apologized to me and gave me $100,000, hoping that I would take it as a consolation payment. The atmosphere was such that he was likely to leave until I received and since I had joined his company other circumstances, I gratefully act. I was thinking of changing jobs, and this time, I wanted to be honest about my financial situation. Moving out can be a change of scene, or another reason is that I had been dating someone for 10 years who cheated on me and called off the wedding. So word spread within my former comp among acquaintances. No one was being mean, but it was stressful because I often had to be around people. I found a new job at the new location, living a fulfilling life. I was quite shocked that Henry had me, and I had no desire to have a BC at all for a while. Recently, however, I became interested in a company called I thought that I could no longer trust people, but I found someone who cares about me. So I feel that I can finally trust again. I am also trying to be a little more about my love life.